In this particular function, we want to find all the horizontal, vertical asymptotes and the holes in the graph. So I have y is equal to 3 minus 2x minus x squared over x squared plus x minus 2. First thing I want to do is find the horizontal asymptotes because I think they're the easiest to find. I'm going to put the top part of the fraction, the numerator, in the standard form. So I have negative x squared minus 2x plus 3. And I'm going to leave the bottom alone for now, which is x squared plus x minus 2. Now if I look at the degree of each polynomial, they're both 2. So the degree of p is equal to the degree of q. And that's going to give me a horizontal asymptote at the leading coefficient of p divided by the leading coefficient of q. So the leading coefficient of the top polynomial is negative 1. Leading coefficient of the bottom is positive 1. So I have negative 1 divided by positive 1. So y is equal to negative 1. So on my graph, I'm going to have a horizontal asymptote at negative 1. So I'm just going to make a dashed line. That's a line that my graph is going to approach. That's what the asymptotes are. Now the next thing I want to do is find my holes in the graph and my vertical asymptotes. So I need to factor the top and the bottom. So I have negative 1 times x squared plus 2x minus 3 over x squared plus x minus 2. And then I'm going to factor both the numerator and denominator. So I have x plus 3 times x minus 1 over x plus 2 times x minus 1. Now if you notice, there's a factor that's identical in the numerator and denominator. It's x minus 1. So that's what's going to create my hole in the graph. So if the factor is x minus 1, so let's label this as horizontal asymptotes. This is my hole in the graph. So I have a hole at, if the factor is x minus 1, the hole is at x equals 1. So if I go down and look at my graph, the graph is going to go through a point at x equals 1. And it's not going to go through that point. There's going to be a hole there, but it will continue on both sides of that hole. So we'll leave that for a second. And now I need to find my vertical asymptotes. We already said x minus 1 creates a hole. It's not an asymptote. X plus 2 is going to create an asymptote. So if the factor is x plus 2, the vertical asymptote is going to be at x equals negative 2. So now let's graph it. So if I have a vertical asymptote at x equals negative 2, and I know my line, if I graph it on the graphic calculator, it looks something like this. It approaches both of these asymptotes, and down here it's going to do the same thing. And I forgot one thing. If you go back up to our information up here, we know there's a hole at x equals 1. So if I go to where x is equal 1, which is right here, I'm going to just erase it a little bit. And I'm going to put a hole in my graph and continue out both sides of that particular point. So this is what my graph looks like. Asymptote at x equals negative 2, asymptote at y equals negative 1, hole in the graph at x equals positive 1.